Right, welcome to what might be called the PerkyPod, YouTube podcast thing that I'm starting. Still working out what it all is, but kind of just recording myself and some thoughts. And I'm going to be thinking about kind of purpose and death and kind of what the real meaning of life is and kind of stuff like that. Basically I recently went to a memorial service last week, and that really got me thinking about what the kind of true purpose is of someone's life, like what you remembered for at the end and kind of your legacy. And the lady that I went to the memorial service of, like, kindness was a big thing that everyone remembered, and her smile and her just love for everyone and love for God as a Christian woman. And that was really inspiring to me. And following that, it kind of got me thinking about what I want to be remembered for, and what is the real meaning behind my life, rather than just like, coasting through life, getting a job, doing this and that. And it's something I've always been aware of and thinking of, but I just thought it'd be something that'd be cool to kind of think more on and chat more on, really, I guess. I think following that kind of memorial service, I was very much aware that it's kind of easy to live life kind of just chasing the next thing, chasing a great career, chasing money, and all these things. There's something I've always kind of had in the back of my head, like, I don't want to just be known for chasing those things. But it's even more kind of kicking me now that actually, like, at the end of my life, in 70 years or whatever, I would love to be in a position where I'm like really glad about what I've done, and I've really made the most of that. I've lived life to the full, as it is in John 10:10, and that's kind of one of my missions in life, is to do that, is to live life to the full, as that's what, as a Christian myself, I kind of believe I've been called to do, and I want to be able to use my life to help others and serve God, and also just live it and love it and have an amazing time here. I kind of am aware that I could easily go life kind of trying to chase money, this whole entrepreneurship, grind, hustle mindset and culture, which I absolutely love in some senses, because I want to be really disciplined. I want to grow in my entrepreneurship and business and everything. But actually, like, at the end of my life, am I really going to be glad that I focused lots on that? Or actually, I think I might be more glad that I focused on family, focused on people, focused on my church, and investing in growing in relationships with friends and family members. So I think following that is kind of made me more aware that actually in life, I hopefully will have a job of sorts, or work for myself that is successful in ways, but doesn't need to be monetarily successful. I mean, if I could make enough money, that means I could then invest more time into my local church or my youth group. That would actually be more successful than earning £1 million a year, because it means I'd be able to help others and grow others. And I think I'm very much aware that I want to be doing what God is calling me to do, and what I, as a Christian, committing best to advance God's kingdom. And that might be earning lots of money and giving it to God's kingdom, as kind of my brother's charity, Fruitful Work, that kind of pushes as one of the concepts we can do as Christians. But also, I would be keen to kind of really be able to use the skills I've been given for the best kingdom outcome, and to also just really enjoy that, because I've also been aware that so many people live life just hating their jobs, and I just do not want that. Like, I want most aspects of my life for me to love living. Like, obviously in life, you're not going to love doing everything, paying your bills, doing all the dirty work, cleaning, like, that's just part of life. Like my brother said at one point, life is a faff, which is just such a true fact. Like there's so many things in life that are a faff that aren't fun, but I would love the majority of the things I'm to be doing to actually be things I really enjoy doing, and things I want to be doing. And the things I want to be doing most in life are to help other people and to help grow other people, because actually that's so fulfilling for me. And like, on a selfless level, it's great because I can help grow other people, and also selfishly, in a way, it helps me grow as well. And it's, that's not the motivation behind it, but it's true that, like, when you help other people, you're helping yourself grow. Like, I think in Alcoholics Anonymous, which is a group that helps get people out of bad drinking habits, the final step is helping another person that has struggles with that, and that's actually how they can kind of get out of that cycle. So actually, like, through helping other people, you can grow and develop, be that your faith, be your kind of personal growth journey, discipline, whatever. So I'd love to kind of be able to use my life to help other people. because it kind of goes both ways, and it can be used as a really great opportunity to help other people, and really just open their kind of eyes to various things in life, be that kind of deepening their faith and relationship with God, improving their relationships with family, or kind of the journey that they are on. But yeah, I mean, going back to kind of thinking about the death side as well, like with, if I'm on my deathbed, I want to be like thinking, yes, I'm so glad I did what I did. Like, I've done what God is wanting me to do. I think I want, it's what I want myself to be thinking. I've done what God wants me to do. I've chased the right things. I've not kind of chased money and idolised that, or idolised success on, social media or with my business or whatever. But actually, I've put people first, with God first, and putting other people above myself, and just loving them with a heart like Jesus does. And that's something I want to just ensure I do. And I think also as an encouragement to other people, I think that is, as Christians, I think what we're called to do. I think when we're on, in our last years of our life, it would be awesome to reflect, thinking, I'm really glad I've done what I've done. And there's still more time to share God's love with other people in whatever way that might be. And it can be so many different ways. I've also been quite aware that, like, everyone has different skills. Like, within my youth group, there are so many different roles that people have. Like, I'm often hanging out with the lads, doing lots of relational stuff, really just growing in friendships, which I absolutely love, because I just love making friends with people and growing in friendships with younger lads in my youth group and at church and other places. But also there's such a place for those that have skills and other things, the logistical skills, the cooking skills. Those are such an awesome way of sharing God's love, because you're facilitating an environment for other people to share God's love. So actually, like, even if you're not going to be in the forefront doing the ministry work, you might be aiding that, which in itself is a great opportunity to kind of share and grow God's kingdom, which I think is so worth it. And I'm aware also of, like, relationships with friends and family, that actually there's not, in life we're going to have our relationships and friendships, but they are going to come to an end when those pass away. And it's so key to really make the most of. I saw a graph that it was showing the amount of time you spend with your parents or your family or your brother and various kind of members of your family over your lifetime. And it's so sad seeing this graph of when time you spend with your parents is super high when you're young, and then when you become kind of 15, 16, it slowly drops down, and then just becomes way less. And that's obviously because people move out of home, you go to uni. Like, that's been a fact in my life. I've spent less time with my parents now, but I don't want to have it drop so low that it's just, I'm not having that meaningful time with my family that are so important to me, because at the end of my life, like, my family is one of the most important parts of it, rather than trying to chase all these things that aren't really leading me anywhere meaningful. So that's definitely something I want to ensure. And I'm also aware that with kind of with life and hang on, I'm also aware so that often, like, death is closer than we think, and there's people we don't expect to go, and when they do, and there's maybe not time to say goodbye, there's maybe not time to have those conversations and be as intentional as you want. So I think that's also been a reminder for me that actually, like, I want to make the most of every moment I get, in case it is the last moment. And whether that's with some older friends and family, or whether even just closer mates, but actually, like, we never know when someone's going to go, and we never know when we're going to go, so we should really be living life to the full, as Jesus calls us to, and really invest in those relationships and friendships. And that's not to say go each time as in think it's going to be the last time, be really sad about it, but just, I think, making the most of something and thinking, I'm glad I really enjoyed that time with them. I had a great time. I didn't kind of not ask them the question I wanted to ask. So I'm really aware that when I spend time with people, and I want to ask, how are you really doing? How's your relationship with God? How are you doing with these things you might be struggling with or whatever? I want to be super intentional to have those conversations and not kind of let them pass. And I've often have let things like that pass, and then I regret that, because I'm like, I wish I'd asked them this. I wish I'd dug into that thing that we'd discussed before or whatever. And then, similar, people do that for me. Like, I love it when people check in on me, and when we have those conversations. Like, it's so valuable to grow, and I think having as many of those conversations as possible is just so valuable. So I think trying to just link it back, I think death is inevitable, and we are going to have that in our lives, and it's devastatingly sad to think that one day we're going to see the majority of our friends and family go, or we're going to go earlier, but actually, like, to live life to the full and make the most of all those meaningful relationships and friendships is so important. And actually, to have a legacy, to build a legacy and build a life that you're glad to have lived, and doing things you're like, yes, I'm glad I did that. That did genuinely bring me closer to God, and that was the right use of my time. I think being able to reflect on those things as you go in life and make each just kind of big decision that decides where you're going to go in life, that's so valuable. So you can actually be really mindful and meaningful about those decisions, rather than kind of floating in life thinking, oh yeah, I'll grab that job, I'll go to uni because everyone else does, I'll do that, I'll try and chase money because everyone does that and we all need money. But actually being prayerful and intentional, thinking, what am I really going to want to take away from life? And if you're a Christian or a non-Christian, I think even just being reflective on that is super important, and thinking about, actually, what am I building in my life? Is this getting me closer to where I want to be and helping me grow to become the person I want to become, or is what I'm doing drawing me away from the person I want to become? And I remember hearing, if people are watching your life as a movie, are the things you're doing, are people going to be screaming at the TV, thinking, don't do it, or are they going to think, yes, that was so good you did that? And I know in my life there's a lot of things I've been doing recently and over my life that aren't at all bringing me closer to the goals I'm trying to do. And if I was watching myself on TV, I would be shouting at myself and screaming, like, why are you doing that? And obviously in the moment it's not easy to think about that, but actually in the moment when you're trying to make these decisions that may not be bringing you closer to your goals, it's so vital to actually reflect on that. Like, is this going to be bringing me to the place I want to be going to, and will I be kicking myself in regret for making that decision? And you're always going to make mistakes, you're always going to muck up and have regrets in life, be them big or small, but minimizing them and growing from those mistakes as well is so important. Like, learning from the little mistakes you make and learning from those that have other people that have made mistakes and growing from them, I think, is super important. And kind of having those conversations with older people that might have more experience, saying, what would you want to teach me? What do you want to teach the younger generation? And that wisdom you can gain, it's amazing. You can gain 80 years worth of wisdom from a conversation or a life lesson that they've spent 80 years learning, and you can just have that knowledge imparted onto you through a conversation with someone else, which I think is also so valuable. And that's actually what we're doing with my granddad this next week, which I'm really excited about, having a conversation and podcast interview thing with him to really learn more about him and those lessons he's learned. So I think that kind of might sum up what my chat is going to be about, that it's just super important to be intentional about what your legacy is and where you're going in life, and what what kind of actions you're doing, whether they're bringing you closer to the person you want to become in your life. And when you do get to the point where you're on your deathbed, are you actually going to be like, I'm so glad I did these things? Or are you going to be like, I would have done that differently, and I think to preemptively think about what those things might be could mean you can reduce making those kind of mistakes. Just some things to think about, and some things I'm thinking about. A bit of a lane splurge. I don't really know what this is going to become, who's going to listen to it, but if you want to chat about it with me, I'll be so open to that in whatever way there might be, in the comments, messaging, if you know me, having a phone call, I don't know, but there's some thoughts, and see you later on. God bless.